Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast where the volcanoes erupt, the insects buzz, the beasts roar, and the audience snores. My name's Matthew Donald, and each episode I and a rotating set of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by my actual illustrator of my Megazoic books and all-around good person and good friend, Natasha Krech.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing?
Oh, up to the usual bits of no good between school and driving a bus.
Nice. Those are both very, different things. But aren't you going to school for bus stuff?
Nah, that's too boring, and they don't listen to us anyway.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. Well, happy to have you here. At the beginning, I always like to ask people like a different dinosaur-related question. So I gotta say, usually when people first show up, the first question I ask them is, what is their favorite dinosaur or prehistoric creature? So, go.
Favorite dinosaur or prehistoric creature? Excellent question. Mind you, I was raised with Jurassic Park, so I took forever to know that there were other really nifty species of dinosaurs
there's so
out
many.
there.
I grew up with Jurassic Park too, but I just kept researching stuff like, there's so many.
Honestly, one of my favorites to this day is the Utah raptor.
It's pretty neat.
Especially after seeing it in the Fruita Dinosaur Museum for the first time and having the wrong idea.
Right.
Yeah, that was Velociraptor and getting it corrected.
That one's a good one. My favorite has always been Signraptor for some weird reason, but...
The other honest prehistoric favorite of mine is a dire wolf, but who doesn't love wolves?
Wolves are pretty good, and especially if they're dire, right? Makes them scarier. And that's the ones that we humans had to deal with.
Yes, and no association with Game of Thrones. The real deal were much cooler.
Yeah, although I don't know if the real deal were white, but
probably not. It probably wasn't a common trait.
I mean, I guess any animal has the potential to get white from like albinism or whatever.
The only reason Arctic wolves are white is it's an adaptation for the northern environment.
Right, to keep them camouflaged in the snow, yeah.
Exactly. Otherwise, normally wolves are gray, brown, black, or some combination thereof.
Right, exactly. Sounds good. That's definitely a good animal to enjoy, both of them. I like them anyways, but who's to say that they're any good? I think they're good anyways. Well, this week, though, we're unfortunately not talking about the dire wolf. Well, I guess I'll leave you in for... I'll keep you in mind for next time for that. We're talking about the giant southern lizard, Giganotosaurus.
Ah, yes. Believe it or not, when I was in elementary school, I actually wrote a half-hearted story with a caveman and a Giganotosaurus.
Oh, nice.
In a museum having to escape said museum.
That sounds like a great story.
It wasn't any good. It was 6th grade level.
Well, of course, but still, for the time.
It was relatively entertaining.
Yeah.
Or at least I thought so.
What made you pick Giganotosaurus?
Because no one else had heard of it.
Oh, yes.
And I was kind of turning into a spiteful little pain in the butt.
Right, exactly. I can imagine. It's almost like you're kind of that now. No, you're not. You're good.
Oh, no. I am a spiteful pain in the butt. I'm just more open about it.
I'll be sure to watch my back. Okay, so Giganotosaurus, giant southern lizard is what it means. It is a Carcharodontosaurid theropod. It's in that family. Pretty big dinosaurs, like big meat-eating dinosaurs. Other examples include, of course, Carcharodontosaurus, but also like Ceraniops and Tyrannotitan, Mapusaurus, which is one of the ones we have evidence for it being in packs, so that's cool. Mm-hmm. Which I also think Giganotosaurus might have, but we'll see. It was a carnivore, obviously. Oh, wait, I'm flipping around. Sometimes I read these too fast and I skip things. Because it was a carnivore. I mean, not like you didn't need me to tell you that it was a carnivore, but it was 39 to 43 feet / 12 to 13 meters long and 6 to 8 tons. We'll get to why that size is important here in a sec. It was in the mid-Cretaceous, 98 to 97 million years ago. It was discovered in Argentina, described in 1995. Pop culture appearances? There are a few. Dinotopia, The World Beneath is probably the first one.
And I actually am rather fond of those Dinotopia movies.
Right, exactly. The movies are good, the books are good. Like the first, because Dinotopia, I love those illustrated books.
Oh, yes, I have one of them, and I've looked at it for further inspiration.
Yeah, I don't know if I have The World Beneath, but I do have. I have The Journey to Shandara. Yeah, you're looking over my bookshelf, aren't you? Where you see, I have
2 of them.
I have
Journey to Shandara,
and then the original one, I think.
Jane's Journey.
Yep. James Gurney, I think, yeah. Is it Gurney or Journey? I don't know.
Journey.
Journey? Oh, wow, it's like Journey. Like taking a journey. That's fitting for Dinotopia. Also, it was in the Dino Crisis video game series.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not either, but someone showed me a video of it. Or like it's like Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs instead of zombies.
Interesting. I think it's one of also many species shown in the Ark Survival. If I'm
I need to play that game. I'm just so bad at survival games, but everything about that game looks amazing. It
looks amazing. I've used several of its images for inspiration and references in some of the illustrations.
Right,
actually.
That's neat. Also, it was in, believe it or not, The Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island. And
the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And one of the few animals in that whole series to draw blood. Hardcore, right?
For a kids movie? Oh, yeah, definitely.
For a Land Before Time sequel, where there's like all those silly songs and cheesy messages about friendship, and blood. Okay. Giganotosaurus. For almost a century, paleontologists believed that Tyrannosaurus was the biggest meat-eating dinosaur of all time, giving him an infamous reputation as the tyrant lizard king.
Boy, would they be proved wrong later.
Oh, I know, but that's literally what Tyrannosaurus Rex means, though, like tyrant lizard king, but yeah. Then this guy was discovered and changed the game, gaining infamy overnight as a dinosaur so badass it was even larger than the good old Rex. Since then, we've discovered almost a dozen meat-eaters bigger than T-Rex. Some, like Spinosaurus, were retroactively realized as bigger after their initial discovery.
Yes, and how long did they take putting together that skeleton, and how much trouble did that family give paleontologists? You almost feel bad for them for the headaches they got.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Spinosaurus also, it was, they had a really good skeleton of it initially, but they had the unfortunate distinction of being in a German museum in the 1940s. And there was
seems to be a trend.
An Allied bombing run, and boom, there goes the skeleton.
That's actually the fate of the first jet that was successfully flown in Germany as well.
Wow, that's sad. War is just terrible. I just recently watched Midway, though. It was pretty good. The new Midway movie. It was pretty good. Giganotosaurus was also theorized, as I mentioned earlier, to hunt in packs, bringing down big long necks like Argentinosaurus in a group, although this idea is still unproven. But,
it is an interesting hypothesis, considering lions and hyenas, wolves...
Right, exactly.
Social predators did tend to do better.
Right, exactly. And if the prey was that big and it was at the same time, how else could you hunt it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, But yeah, so I talk about how there's a lot of dinosaurs bigger than T-Rex, a lot of meat eaters bigger than T-Rex, and Giganotosaurus is one of them. While it was bigger than T-Rex, or at least close to the same size, it probably wouldn't beat T-Rex in a fight.
Probably not. T-Rex was notably faster.
And also it had a much stronger bite, and a slightly bigger brain.
And the eye set is completely different.
That's true. T-Rex had forward-facing eyes, right? And Giganotosaurus had side-facing.
Yeah, which would have allowed T-Rex a major advantage in vision.
Right. Yeah, the only advantage Giganotosaurus has that's slightly longer and maybe a little bit heavier, but that's only can go so far.
No, yeah, it would only go so far. It might offer an advantage if it could ram the Rex off balance, but you know.
But then T-Rex could also ram it because it has the bigger head.
It does, but the rounded snout would have allowed.
Wait, actually, that's not true. I think a Giganotosaurus actually has a bigger head now that I think about it. It's a little bit longer. It's not
bit
broad. It's not as
bit rounder from the image I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Thank you for doing on the cuff research.
Rounder nose, which would have allowed for the ramming a little bit easier.
Right. Well, yeah. Like most meat eaters have jaws built for different things. Like T-Rex's jaws were meant for crushing.
Yes.
While most of the others were meant for ripping.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And if I remember right, you'll have to correct me on this. The Carcharodontosaurus family, they're all very much more serrated, whereas the Rex basically had railroad spikes.
Basically. I mean, Carcharodontosaurid means shark-toothed. So it's their teeth look like that. So shark-toothed lizard, that's what the saurid part is. But probably T-Rex would still beat Giganotosaurus. And it's funny in that Dino Crisis video game series, there was a cutscene that had a T-Rex chasing the bad guy, but then a Giganotosaurus came in, and it was portrayed as exaggeratedly bigger, and it just destroyed the T-Rex in one hit, and I'm like, oh, that's cute.
You know, I've in some of my research to get an idea of how these dinosaurs moved, I would come across YouTube vids of this dinosaur versus that dinosaur, and they would use different video games. I actually did run across that one.
Oh yeah, that video. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty funny. I think it's just like it's like 10 feet taller, and it's like just.
But I did see another one where the Rex well and truly won.
That's
based
good.
on what we've discussed.
Of course, the two would never meet anyways, as they lived millions of years apart and on different continents. Plus, giant predators don't usually fight each other, as they could get
not
as they could get
injured.
Yeah, exactly. They could get seriously injured, and they don't risk unnecessary conflict. But it's still cool to think about. Okay.
Oh yeah.
We want to see prehistoric monsters fight like Pokemon. Okay. It's not so difficult to understand.
That's a funny part of it. Is the speculation aspect.
Like who would win in a fight? Next up, Allosaurus versus. Come on, saber-toothed cat.
Well, we all know how that one would go.
Bye, saber-toothed cat.
We'd all still be entertained by that. We're all terrible people, right?
Exactly, and everyone likes it when cats get injured. Sorry, now we've lost all our cat lovers.
Aw, they can come back. We really do love the saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. Alright, so an interesting thing about theropods in general, the meat-eating dinosaurs, is that there are several species from different families that are all around this size. Tyrannosaurus from the Tyrannosauridae, Giganotosaurus and plenty others from the Carcharodontosauridae, Saurophagonix from the Allosauridae, Spinosaurus from the Spinosauridae, and Dinochirus from the Ornithomimidae. These are all around the same size, but never any bigger. Like, they never seem to get any bigger than this, despite all these different families getting these massive creatures. This shows a clear maximum in overall theropod size.
Well, it shows an overall maximum even in predator size for land. You start dealing with gravity, size of the heart. I've paid attention to a few people who talk about evolutionary biology, and really there is a maximum.
Well, exactly. Well, and dinosaurs clearly got bigger, but they were all the plant eaters that got bigger. So
well, and there's an easier abundance of plants versus the amount of time we have to spend hunting down meat.
Right, exactly.
I mean, pick a flower versus trying to catch a grasshopper.
Although it's kind of funny, Dinochirus was one of the ones I said was about the same size, and it was a plant eater because it was the Ornithomimidae. I think it was a plant eater. I think it was either that or an omnivore, which sometimes eat bugs. I don't know. It was pretty big. It's probably too big for bugs.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Those probably just happened to come along on the carrion.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well. So, okay. Now comes everyone's favorite part of the show, except not really. I haven't really released any episodes yet, but I'm assuming this will be everyone's favorite part of the show, where we rate the animal 1 out of 65 million.
All right.
And for whatever reason we'd like, personal preference, fun quirks, ranking in the food chain, how distinctive it is. I've even had some people say, like, sexiness, mana pool, like, agility, dexterity. I don't know. It's pretty good, pretty perfect, I think. I mean, it's bigger than T-Rex. That's neat. Probably wouldn't beat in a fight. But
wouldn't beat it in a fight, but it might give Rex a few problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 63 million. It's pretty close to perfect, I think.
It is a pretty close to perfect predator. In all honesty, when you look at it, how it was built, the only thing that I can see it losing points on is its eyes were facing to the side instead of forward.
Right, and it had a slightly smaller brain, and yeah. But that's okay. It's nothing. No, there's nothing wrong with that. No way to hold it against them.
It was a design that worked out well.
It did, and a lot of different species looked a lot like it. So, so what would you rate it then?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a 63 million as well.
Nice.
It's a pretty awesome creature.
It is. I like it. We all like it. It's all pretty good. Anyways, that's the show for this week. Let's see. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can. Wow, I'm losing it today. My brain's shrinking like a Giganotosaurus. Oh no. Basically, you can get a hold of us by emailing mattd@matthewdonaldcreator.com, and if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at Matthew Donald Creator on Facebook, at MatthewDonald64 on Twitter, and MatthewDonald64 on Instagram. If you can contact me through this, you can also contact Natasha through this. If you have questions, I can relay the questions to her. Ask her, why she decides to drive buses.
That's kind of a long story for another
episode. Another day. Also, if you guys are interested in writing, I have another podcast called The Writ Wit, where 2 twits talk about writing. The other twit is not present, and I'm still trying to drag him into this. Eventually, I'll be successful. I figured the way I'm going to do it is doing the dinosaurs that were featured in Power Rangers.
Well, you'll get my attention for that one too, because Power Rangers, guilty pleasure, 90s kid who did turn into a martial artist.
Yes, nice. Oh, you're like a real Power Ranger. All you just need is a big mech.
Well, that and a laser gun.
Oh, that's true. You don't have that.
Not yet.
Also, if you are interested in a little bit of reading, you can read my dinosaur book series, Megazoic, on Amazon, available for print and Kindle. Natasha here did all the illustrations in the chapters, so thank you very much. They're all pretty good illustrations. Thank you, Natasha.
Yeah, it was a fun project over the past few years.
It was. Oh, I like your shoes. They look like big footprints.
They are, and they endured trial by mountain.
Nice, cool. Alright, so yep, that's it. And at the end of every episode, we kind of like to do our little dinosaur noises. And dinosaurs didn't really always roar, so I kind of like to do like ee, ee, or so you go. That's the Monkeysaurus.
Well, an attempt to imitate a Cooper's hawk.
But,
okay. Figuring going with the bird theme.
Got it. Alright, see ya.